Let's start with the navigation system. In all 3D packages, navigation system is pretty much made up of these three controls, and those are called pan, rotate, and zoom in, zoom out. Now, in order to show that in Maya, I'm going to need to create a 3D object. So we're going to create a default object from Maya, which is going to be, I'm going to go under create, polygon, cube. And it's going to be sitting right in the center of the grid by default. To bring this up closer, you can hit a keyframe F. With that, now you're going to be able to look at the navigation system. Now first one is going to, let's look at the rotate. So I'm holding Alt and left mouse click. Now this is used to rotate around an object. Now second one, Alt and middle mouse. This is used for panning. So this is moving right and left. Now third one is Alt and right mouse click. This is used for zoom in and zoom out. And we can also achieve this third one by scrolling a mouse wheel. Here we go. So in all these three controls, I'm holding Alt. With the left mouse is rotation. While holding Alt, with the middle mouse it's pan. And with the right mouse it's zoom in and zoom out. So these are the three navigation controls. On the top of that, all the 3D packages, they also have different cameras. Now currently we are only looking at perspective camera. So if I go down on this side here, you're going to be able to see a toolbox here, and we are currently at the first one. Now if I click on the second one, I'm going to be able to see all the four cameras here. Now one on the top left is the top camera, and this is perspective camera, and you can see here side and front. Now Maya has 7 cameras. By default 4 are visible and 3 are accessible through the inner menu. So you hover your mouse over to perspective and hit spacebar, and it's going to maximize it, and hit a spacebar again and you're going to get back to the same view again. To access other 3 cameras, if I hold spacebar, I'm going to see this hotkeys. If I left click on this Maya, I'm going to see a lot more cameras than what I see in the outliner on the left there. So now you can see here I can switch from right view and again hold spacebar, left click mouse, and then we can go to any view from here as well. And I'm going to switch back to perspective here, but this is a hotkeys for any of these cameras. We can also change the background color by holding Alt B as a boy. You can see if I click it once, twice, third and fourth, you can see 4 different colors, and then it comes back to blue again. So all these colors are a toggle, so they are helpful when you're modeling, so it makes your model pop out from the background a little bit better. Let's also take a look at menus and shelves within Maya. So on the very top one, right about here, this is our main menu. So in a main menu, all the items till window stays the same, but everything after this is changed based on what you select in the menu bar. Now right now it's set to modeling. You can see after window is mesh, edit mesh, and so on. But if I click on there and change it to rigging, and everything after window changes. So these are the rigging tools that shows up. And then same way if you go into animation, things change down here. Now in Maya, you're going to be able to see same tool at multiple different locations. Now same tools that you see in these menus are also found on these shelves. So these are called shelves right up in this section. These are all shelf buttons, and they're shortcuts for the tools above. This is outliner. You're going to be able to see every single object you have in your scene right up here. On the left here, you have a toolbar where you have a selection arrow and some lasso tools and selection tools down here. And we'll look at these tools are move, rotate, and translate some of these values and scale values. Now down here is a timeline. All the way up to here. By default, Maya has 24 frames per second. Now these down here is the outer limit is the full time range, like total is from 1 to 200, but currently it's showing only from 1 to 120. And you can also hold these buttons down with left mouse button and move them in and out. That currently shows you now from 102 to 120. Now this is what is showing currently out of 1 to 200. That's the time slider. Now here's the Mel script where it allows you to type in Mel commands, and if you are running some scripts from outside, that everything like that is going to go into this section. Now right to the Mel command is a status bar. This is where things happen. So like whenever you move something or apply something to an object, it shows you as a result that confirms if that operation that you're doing worked or not. Up here are the display layers where you can add an object and lock an object. All these things can be done in here. And then next to the display is the animation layers, which allows you to like hide and mute animation, things like those. And up here is a channel box, attribute editor, and modeling toolkit. Now be careful about this, it's really hidden, it's right up there. And there's nothing in them right now, because in order to have something in here, you need to select something. Like for example, I can select a cube from the viewport here, and suddenly attributes appears. And same, we have attribute editor here, and in this case we have a bunch of tabs to go into these cube properties and attributes. And modeling toolkit is right here, but also you can access it with this button over here. If I click on it and it shows up modeling toolkit, if I click on it again, that goes away. Right, so these are all floating windows, and these windows can be placed from one place to another. For example, let's say I wanted to take this channel box out and place it somewhere else, and you can hold left click and move this one out, and it's going to separate it by itself. And now take this from this blue bar from the top and place it anywhere you like. Like you see that when I move it down here, it shows me that blue line. That pretty much shows that I can actually place it in here. Now definitely it's not a good idea to place it here, but you can place any window anywhere, and you can separate them out as well. Like I can take that from here, and maybe I wanted to place it right here next to this outliner. So I'll take that and place it over here, and now it's back embedded. So these are all the windows, they are floating. Now these floating windows can also be reset to the default position, and those resetting is done through the workspace. Now what exactly is a workspace? Now in workspace you will see a lot of these menus put together for you, so that they are easily accessible while you're doing any sort of work. For example, if you're doing modeling, you probably want all your modeling tools around. So that's what this workspace is for. So then going back into the rigging, you probably want all your rigging tools around. That's this workspace is for. And then animation, and going back to the default one is going to be the general one. At any point, let's say you're in general, or maybe you're in animation, but you still wanted to do something on the top of what you're given, you can still move these things around. Okay, now some things, let's say if you don't want it to be floating like this, you want to put together where they were by default, you can always reset them by going whatever your space you're in, click on that, and then down here click on reset current workspace. Whatever workspace you have selected, it's going to reset back to the original position.